If you've watched or read any review in the last, I don't know, 4 to 5 years, you would have undoubtedly come across some journalists lamenting the demise of the sedan. It's no secret. Sedan sales are down and SUV sales are up, which makes this rather confusing. Mercedes-Benz decided that they're going to take their A-Class hatchback and add a boot onto it, creating the A-Class sedan. And they've just decided to create the A35, a performance version of it. I quite like this. And it seems that many other people do. This was only supposed to be a Chinese offering, but the global demand for it was so high that they had no choice but to offer it to the entire world. I think it's stunning. I think it's a beautiful little car. It's wonderfully executed. It manages to be sporty, elegant and stylish without being overdone. Being the A35, it has the AMG treatment, so you get that twin spar AMG grille up front, large front valances and big air dams. You're going to get these splitters and canards on the side to let you know that it's all AMG, and you're going to get these lovely bi-color wheels. At the back, it's a similar AMG story, as you have a beautiful diffuser, 2 large bore exit tailpipes, and of course a tasty little wing spoiler right on the boot lid. As a whole, it's wonderfully executed. And then you have this. Ah yes, BMW's response to the A-Class sedan. The BMW 2 Series Gran Coupe. Now, everybody's got their reservations, and me particularly, if you're going to call it a coupe, give it 2 doors. This has 4 doors, it's a sedan, folks. Stop trying to reinvent the wheel. And reinvent, well, they certainly did, because there's about 3,000 lines on this thing. I don't think you're seeing it on camera because this is a black vehicle, which is probably one of the nicest colors to have it in if you don't like the way that it looks. And personally, I'm not taken with the way that it looks. This is the M235 Gran Coupe xDrive. It's a mouthful, but then again, so is the styling. You are going to get the regular M Sport package on it and looks and design. So up front, we've got this diamond gunmetal grey kidney grille, similar treatment down in the air dams. Lovely M Sport wheels, those look tasty. Down the side skirts and silver mirrors, and at the back the regular M treatment. This also has the Shadowline package, so it's a full chrome delete. But the more I look at it, the worse it gets. I don't know. This one is going to take a while for me to accept, unfortunately. Style is subjective, isn't it? But I suppose this isn't all about being a beauty contest, is it? First up, the Mercedes-AMG A35 4MATIC. I'll tell you what, I'm really impressed with this car. Despite the fact that these 2 vehicles are very similar, and I mean very similar, the A35 feels like a slightly more complete package. You can really tell that AMG had more of a hand in developing this one than the previous generation A-Class. So what does it run? Well, it runs a 2-litre 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. It makes 225 kilowatts and 400 newton meters of torque. It's mated to a DCT-8G gearbox, which means that it's a dual clutch gearbox and it has 8 gears, and it is programmed to perfection, as AMG knows how. I really do like it. It responds well, and the 4MATIC system just transfers the power beautifully. So if you go into a corner and you're a little eager, you can feel it transfer the power to the rear. It has electromechanical diffs at the rear to help put that power down. It can transfer as much as 50% of the power to the rear wheels, giving it a 50-50 split. There are a few shortcomings. Yes, it is still an A-Class, so you're going to get a couple of, well, cheaper plastics in the interior. It's not the end of the world. You can live with it, but it is entry-level Mercedes-Benz. Then there's the sound. In all honesty, the BMW does sound better. This one, though, I like the way this drives. And this is the BMW M235i Gran Coupe xDrive. And it's got a bit of a problem. You see, the 2 Series Gran Coupe is based on the same platform as the X1 and the X2. And when I tested the X2, I had a bit of a problem with the ergonomics. And it's the same problem here. It just feels like the steering wheel is sort of off-center. I don't, well, feel comfortable. I don't feel like I'm sitting properly, despite how I've adjusted my seat. The Merc's got that one up. It's nicely trimmed inside here, I must say that. There's swaths of leather, and there's some bright coloured upholstery here to sort of break the monotony. But because it is an entry-level offering, there are a couple of harder plastics. But it's not terrible. It's also something you can sort of live with and look past, because all the touch points are, well, they feel opulent. Let's put it that way. Now, I did say that these two are very similar. So, the M235i Gran Coupe also runs a 2-litre 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, and it also makes 225 kilowatts. But this one makes 50 Newton meters more, 450 Newton meters. It sends that power predominantly to the front wheels through a 8-speed torque converter gearbox. Yeah, no dual clutch in this one. And that, well, that hinders its performance a little bit. It doesn't respond quite as well as that dual clutch 7-speed in the A35. In fact, it hampers the performance so that this is 0.1 seconds slower to 100 kilometers an hour. The xDrive also isn't perfect. In slower corners, it's really going to push the nose before it starts transferring power to the rear wheels. And that's, well, not ideal. It takes a little while. You really need to manhandle this car in order to extract the most out of this all-wheel drive system. I think you're going to come off the power long before it actually transfers the power, because you're worried about, well, understeering off into a hedge. It sounds good in here though, but in all honesty, that A35 didn't sound bad on the inside either. It's just from the outside that it sounds a little strange. So, that brings me to my next question. Which one will it be? Will it be the M235i Gran Coupe xDrive, or will it be the Mercedes-AMG A35? It's this one. It's the A35. That's the one that I would choose. It's just such an engaging drive. AMG has really knocked it out of the park here. It feels like a bespoke vehicle. Now, it is a little bit more expensive. It commands a 60,000 Rand premium, coming in at 860,000 Rand versus the 800,000 Rand that you're going to pay for the BMW M235 Gran Coupe. But it's worth every cent. It's worth every cent for this sheer enjoyment and just the dynamic nature of this chassis and drivetrain. I could do this all day long.